Prior to using EMR for any patient treatment, the location of users must be established. This is done as soon as the system is set up. The task of creating user accounts can be completed by multiple users, but only one person can set up the current location. To access the setup screens, double-click on the EMR icon on the desktop of any EMR client. Once the login screen appears, enter the setup username and password and click the Continue button for both the login and location. The setup credentials will be provided to you by the IRCT or EMR setup personnel. This will prompt the main setup menu to be displayed. Now that you have successfully logged into the EMR setup module, I can walk you through setting up a location. It is important to note that setting up a location in EMR should always be done prior to any other setup functions. To begin the location setup process, simply click on the Locations button at the top right of the screen. The location search screen is now displayed. If the EMR kit has been shipped from another deployment location, other locations may be listed. Otherwise, the list will be empty. If another location is listed and it says yes under the enabled column, it will need to be disabled. Leaving a non-operational location enabled or active may cause users to inadvertently sign into the wrong location. If a user did sign into the wrong location, you will not have access to the patient's information and will lead to inaccurate data uploaded to the health information repository. To disable a location, simply highlight that location and tap the Open button. The location ad screen is now displayed. You will notice an Account Disabled box on the top right of the screen. Click on that box to disable the non-operational location. Once you have successfully disabled that location, click the Continue button to save. This will return you to the location search screen. Now that you are back on the location search screen, you can set up your current location. To begin, tap on the Create button, which will take you to the location ad screen. Once on the location ad screen, you will notice that the name of the location is listed first. This information, along with the deployment name, should be provided to you by the IRCT or EMR support personnel. The first step is to enter the location name and address, followed by contact numbers and local facility information, if available. If not, that information can be updated at a later time. Proceed to the Reporting Information section and enter the deployment name exactly as it was provided by the IRCT or EMR support personnel. It is imperative to enter the name correctly, including upper or lowercase letters. When there are multiple locations during an incident, for example, a hurricane, each location must have the exact same deployment name, or the information from one location would not marry up with other locations in the health information repository. Once the information that you have available has been entered, tap the Acquire GPS button to obtain the latitude and longitude for your location. This will be particularly helpful for mapping purposes. It is important to note that in order to get GPS coordinates, the laptop must have a direct line of sight to the satellite. When done, click the Continue button to save the information. The location entered should now be listed under the search results. Tap on the back button to go back to the main menu. The user setup screen allows you to set up and search for users. To set up or search for users, tap on the Users button. The user search screen is now displayed. Here you can search for existing records by last name, first name, and by the last four numbers of the Social Security number. If the user has been entered into the system, it will display the information on the screen. However, if it is not in the system, you must create a new user. The user maintenance screen is displayed. The last name that was entered on the search screen is carried over. Here you can make any corrections to it that you need at this time. Then tap on the first name box and enter the first name. Tap on the Social Security name button to display the Social Security number box. You may enter all zeros with just the last four of the user's actual Social Security number. However, no two users may have the same Social Security number. So if the last four are the same for more than one user, you will be required to enter additional numbers. When entering in the numbers, if you make a mistake, you can always use the backspace to make corrections. You do not need to clear and retype everything. It is important to note at this time, once you have entered the Social Security number and saved the user, you may not go back and correct the Social Security number. All other information may be corrected. The username is the first initial of the first and last name and the last 4 digits of the Social Security number. Tap on the password button and enter the user's password twice. It will be the same as the username. Then tap the Continue button to save it. Select the Team Name button by using the drop-down box. Select the provider type by using the drop-down box. This is the current certification level that the user has according to RMS and NDMS. The user may sign in the signature box using the stylus. If the user is a practitioner, the signature will be printed on the patient treatment records that are printed out. Tap on the Edit Signature button to access the signature box. Sign the screen. If the user is unhappy with the signature, tap the Clear Signature box and try again. Once the user is done signing, tap on the Done button to save the signature. That is all that is needed to enter a user. By tapping on the Continue button on the top right, the information will be saved. At the bottom of the screen are the role repository and user role boxes. It is important that any individual who serves in the role of pharmacist or pharmacist tech be given the role of pharmacist. This allows the individuals to access the pharmacy dashboard. To add such a role to a user, select pharmacist in the list by highlighting it and tap the right arrow to move it over to the user roles box. If you want to delete that role, tap the green left arrow to move it back. Once done, select the Continue button to save everything. Tap Save and continue. Bed setup is a function that identifies where a patient is located within a particular patient care setting. This function allows the pharmacist to deliver medications to the correct location and helps with the rapid identification of patient location without searching through an entire site. Bed locations in an FMS are extremely important with overall organization of patient and non-patient accountability. Since an FMS may have multiple sections and hundreds of beds, it is important to know where each patient is located. Bed location can also be used for caregivers or family members accompanying patients. Once you have established a location, you may assign a bed by selecting the Bed Setup button located on the upper right-hand side of the screen. Before beginning, determine how many sections are at the site, the name of each section, the number of beds in each section, and the types of beds, standard, bariatric, or Westcott. Once that has been determined, you can start. Sections can be added or deleted later, as can the number of beds. From the main EMR setup menu, tap on the Location button and open your location. Enter the location, then tap on the Bed Setup button. The section management screen is now displayed. Tap on the Add button to add a new section. The Add Section window is opened. Enter the name of the section and the section code. Please keep in mind that the section code will precede the bed number so that by looking at a bed number, you can determine which section it is in. When naming bed sections and providing section codes, it is a business practice to use names other than the acuity level colors. Examples of bed section names would be Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, or respiratory, cardiac, and infectious disease. We now need to add beds to this section. Tap on the Bed Quantity button and enter the number of beds. Select the bed type from the drop-down box and then tap the Save button to save the information. If you determine that the majority of the beds in that section are standard beds and a couple may be bariatric or Westcott, those beds may be updated later. In the top right-hand corner of the section management screen, the total number of beds is displayed next to the bed icon. Patients may now be assigned to all of the beds listed as available. If a patient is assigned to a bed in the section, it will be displayed as occupied under bed status. To take a bed out of service, select the bed by highlighting it and tap on the Update button. Change the bed status to disabled. Users will not be able to assign a patient to a bed that is marked as disabled. Note that the bed total at the top of the screen has not changed. The bed is still in the section. It is just unavailable. If you want to entirely remove a bed, it must be deleted. Select the bed that is going to be removed and highlight it. Tap on the Delete button to remove it. Tap the back button to return to the section management screen. To disable an entire section, select the section from the list on the section management screen by highlighting it. Tap on the Update button. The Update section screen is now opened. This screen can also be used to change the name of a section. Tap on the checkbox next to the section is active to deactivate the section. Then tap on the Save button to save the information. This section is now inactive and patients may not be assigned to beds in this section. Tap the back button 3 times to return to the main menu.